Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Council meeting to order. Get a motion to approve the consent items with one additional administrative item.
Make a motion to approve the consent items with one additional administrative item.
I'll second that.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Resolution 2024-19, resolution approving preliminary tax levy for 2025, and that was set at 10%.
I'll make a motion to approve the 2024-19 resolution, approve the preliminary tax levy for 2025 at 10%.
I'll second that.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Resolution 2024-20, resolution accepting a donation to the city of Medelia. This was from Phyllis Schickling for $1,525, and it was red dots for the police department.
I'll make that motion to accept the donation from Phyllis Schickling for the purchase of the red dots.
Second.
Just like to personally say thank you to Phyllis and to the family of Larry Schickling, so thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
Just so I and the rest of the public knows, what are red dots?
So red dots are basically something that the sheriff's office has already transitioned to, but they're basically a sight picture on the top of your firearm to help your accuracy.
Okay.
Basically an electronic red dot.
Yes, I will abstain.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Discuss and take appropriate action on pay request number 2 in the amount of $171,705.38 to Carroll Companies for well number 6.
Is everything still on board what the initial quote was going to be? Okay.
I'll make a motion to approve this pay request.
I'll second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Discuss and take appropriate action on pay request number 6 in the amount of $110,200 to Meyer Electric.
This is for the SCADA program.
As a guess, you would say 85%?
Oh, totally. After they decided to go with that other switch, because obviously that was the big hang up for the last 2 years, they switched over to a different switch that was available. Then Meyer Electric goes on site and starts switching everything over.
This is both water towers, right?
This is all of the wells, this is the water tower, this is the plant,
Basically, the control system.
the
for
control
entire-
system of everything.
I'll make a motion to approve that pay request.
I'll second that.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Discuss and take appropriate action on selling the 2000 International plow truck. This was on rotation to be sold this year anyway.
Make a motion that we take action on selling the 2000 International Flow Truck.
I'll second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Discuss and take appropriate action on Maria Rodriguez loan subordination.
I'll make a motion to approve that phone subordination.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Citizens communication. The council did receive a letter from a concerned citizen, I guess. I'll read it and then we'll have a little discussion afterwards. While up for a walk Sunday, I noticed several people working at the golf course, which I thought was strange being a Sunday until I later mentioned it to my neighbor. She said, she heard from a city employee, we can have as much overtime as we want because FEMA's paying for it. In reality, FEMA's not paying for it, the taxpayers are, and you, in the position you are, should be monitoring this and not just have an open checkbook. The golf course is not opening this year, so why would people have to work overtime pay on a Sunday? I can only assume they are also getting overtime during the weekdays. This bears the question of how many other city employees are abusing this free overtime. I recently read an article in the Daily Times Messenger about the shelter needed to be torn down, and there were some pictures. I have walked past that shelter dozens of times, and cracks in the wall inside the bathrooms have been there for years before this last flood. The wood fascia could easily be replaced along with a few cracks in the foundation, which may have been there for years also. There's no reason the shelter could not have been salvaged. Once again, free taxpayers, FEMA money being spent. The article also talks about the tables at the golf course trying to be repaired. Would it not have made sense to take the tables out to a safe location before the flood? Is it overtime pay trying to repair them? It's time things get done in a responsible manner. I'm sorry, but living in the city, I feel I cannot sign my name without being chastised. The comment made that, or was apparently made, or somebody heard from their brother's friend or whoever, that city employees can have as much overtime as they want, is untrue. There's not, no employees were told that they could just have free range of overtime and go work. The Sunday that people were down there, that was all volunteer time. Everybody down there is volunteer. Yes, there were city employees down there, but they were volunteering their time, and I believe they stated that at the golf meeting that
Yeah,
they
so,
volunteered.
and some of the complaints in here, as a member of the golf board and one of the people that was down working on that Sunday, more than likely, there has been a number of issues at the golf course, and some of the restoration work got prolonged because of some of the issues with the irrigation system and some other infrastructure. So basically, we finally got the irrigation system up and running again, so we decided to make a push to have everything tilled and seeded as quickly as possible while we have an opportunity to get it growing before frost. So that was kind of why it was, all happened at once. But the majority of the people down there were volunteers working on their own time.
Correction, the majority, all.
Well,
We didn't pay any overtime that Sunday.
no,
That's the point.
No,
not on that Sunday. I would say James and Dave have been down there working diligently trying to get everything
Right.
put back together. I don't know what their hours for the weeks they've been working down there look like, but either way, it doesn't really,
Time for FEMA.
yeah, it doesn't really, this is what's told, so. But what I'm saying is the reason it's all happening now is because of the fact that the irrigation system is up and running now, and now we're trying to get everything seeded and growing before frost. So there has been a big push, and there has been a lot of work being done at the golf course by volunteers on the weekends, and if people see that, that's what's going on.
Then it also goes for the baseball fields.
Yeah, same type of
People
situation.
work during the week, and on the weekends, that's when they can come up down and help, or at night. So the majority of the people that are down in the park working are usually, they're volunteering their time to fix it.
And equipment in some cases.
Yes, and equipment that they're bringing down, we should really be, that letter should really be thanking everybody for the contribution to the city and saving taxpayer dollars.
But the one point I wanted to maybe bring up is, maybe this is kind of a failure on our part about not getting the message out that there's volunteers working and, looking, I know we didn't want a lot of people down there because of the demolition and other things, and there was only a handful of volunteers that were usually, in the golf course situation, it was the golf board mainly down there working and, employees of the city, just because we didn't want a lot of people in the park.
Yeah.
But the communication portion is maybe what, if somebody's hearing from their neighbor's, friend or whatever, maybe that's just because we're not saying exactly what's going on.
I radically disagree with that. My first problem with that letter is the fact that it's signed on anonymous.
Oh, no, I don't disagree.
The minute I read that, the conversation's over.
Yeah.
Because if I can't address you, then there's nothing I can do about this. That thing is so full of falsehoods, it's not even funny. And it's kind of insulting, to be honest with you. Because when you start talking about things like those park benches being pulled out, they were. So they can be
The
sold.
table.
They're talking about the tables that were in the clubhouse.
But, okay, so the last time.
Come on. That, at that point, this is done.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, we're talking third-hand information.
Yeah.
That somebody's using to propagate this, and what I don't want to do is, I personally don't want to feed that beast. Because, you know, we can strategically communicate this all we want, but if somebody's still gonna, I mean, that is so full of falsehoods, it's insulting.
No, I totally get that. And I was, you know, I was down to work and Sunday, I was a little offended that they were, you know, why not ask the people working, or why not talk to the source, of course. But what I'm saying is, us as a council sometimes, because things are moving so fast and there's so many different parts of everything getting done between the park and everything else, maybe we just need to be better at messaging, saying, hey, this is getting done, this is why, this is where it's coming from. Or just encourage people to come to these meetings so they know. If this person had come to any of the meetings, the park meeting or any of the other meetings, they'd know that it's not,
They come to this meeting.
absolutely. And that's why we're reading it out loud now. But I just want people to be encouraged to come, and if they have this, come and say, hey, what's going on, you know, what's going on down at the golf course? Why is there people working on Sunday? If you asked the right people, you would have got the right answer, and then you wouldn't have been upset enough to write a letter, and underlying taxpayers are paying 5 times.
Well, I would just like to get the letter since it was addressed to me.
But it was-
I never got a letter.
It did, it went to
It went to a Miss Fisher and someone wrote that.
Yeah, so I'm not even sure who,
But, all that being said, that is volunteer, there's been a lot of volunteer work done. And as part of it, thank you everybody that was down there, because we got a lot done in a short time.
and that's, you know, I want to say the tables, okay? So 2010 was the last time that it ever reached into the clubhouse. We've flooded many, many times since 2010 and never removed the tables. Did we think we were going to flood to this point? No, that's why the tables and a lot of things weren't removed out of the clubhouse. But we tried our best to salvage everything that we possibly could. And if you saw the price tag on what those tables cost back in 2010, you would have tried to salvage them too. So they are salvaged. I cleaned them up. They're stored and everything. So,
We're kind of running out of room to store things too at that point in time, were we not?
As fast as the water was coming up, we just flat out ran out of time.
well,
We were down there, we were taking back roads to get back in and get as much as we could out. By the time the water was coming out, the road became impassable, so there was no getting the tables out.
there was no getting the tables out. Now that I remember, because that road that goes into the golf course by that afternoon, we couldn't get back in.
The golf course was scheduled to be, you know, there was an event there that night, somebody had rented it out, and we were talking about the water coming up, and so we were pulling stuff out during the day, and by the time that afternoon came, they were coming back in with the gators and the carts to get stuff out, because they couldn't get through the road anymore.
Came down from the pool entry over 9 to get the rest of the stuff out.
And it was all hands on deck.
Yeah. So, yes, I would personally like to thank everybody that's volunteered their time and been down in the park and everything, because it's made my job a lot easier, and the rest of the staff. So I want to say thank you to everybody that's contributed anything to the cleanup and to the restoration of the park and golf course.
Any other discussion on that? My other thing is there's a solid waste commission meeting. It's scheduled for Monday, October 7th, 2024 at 6 p.m. I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed say sign. Motion carried.